Did you know that you can build a fully finished 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home on your property without buying more land, without gutting your savings, and without spending the next decade on a wait list for an apartment? I'm talking about the Tranquility, a nearly 900 square foot tiny barndominium designed as an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. And in 2026, this plan is absolutely blowing up, for good reason. But before you pull up the floor plan and call a builder, there are some real numbers you need to hear, including the costs most people don't talk about, the zoning traps that can kill your project before it starts, and the one thing that makes this particular plan smarter than most of the tiny homes you've seen on YouTube. Stick around to the end, because I'm going to break down the actual build cost for this plan in 2026, tell you how much rental income it can realistically generate, show you exactly what that open concept layout looks like in real life, and I'll be sharing a critical update about a California grant program that a lot of creators are still getting wrong this year. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is about building smart, not big. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss our weekly builds, breakdowns, and honest money talk. And if you already know someone sitting on a piece of land wondering what to do with it, share this video right now. This could literally change their financial picture. Alright, let's get into the Tranquility. The Tranquility is a floor plan from my Barndo Plans, a design house that specializes in small, buildable barndominium layouts engineered for affordability and real-world livability. Let's get the numbers straight first, because you'll see different figures floating around online, and I want this channel to be the place you come for accuracy. The Tranquility gives you 885 square feet of livable interior space. Add the covered front porch, 97 square feet, and the total footprint under the roof is 1,166 square feet. For this video, when I say nearly 900 square feet of living space, that's exactly what I mean. 885 finished interior square feet, not 990, not 712. The current plan is 885. Now here's what that nearly 900 square feet gives you. 2 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, an open concept kitchen and living area, a front porch, and 0 wasted hallway space, because the designers deliberately eliminated hallways to push every inch into livable rooms. The master suite is 10 by 10 feet, tight by McMansion standards, completely livable by real-world standards, with its own private bathroom and a proper closet. The second bedroom works as a guest room, a home office, or if you're renting this unit out, an additional income room. The kitchen opens directly into the dining space and living room. No walls boxing you in. That open configuration is what makes the whole home feel bigger than the square footage on paper. The designers were deliberate about one thing. This does not feel like a shed. Their description of the Tranquility is that it looks like a tiny home but lives larger, designed to feel like an actual house. That distinction matters enormously for rental appeal and long-term livability. The structure is designed to be built either as a traditional barndominium using conventional framing or using a steel kit system. There are 2 kit options and their costs are very different. I'll break both of those down in the cost section because this is where people get confused. Let's talk about the ADU angle because this is important in 2026. And if you're not paying attention to ADU policy right now, you're leaving money and opportunity on the table. An accessory dwelling unit is a secondary home built on the same lot as a primary residence. Think backyard cottage, in-law suite, or in this case, a fully built barndominium style structure in your yard. Here's why ADUs are at an inflection point right now. The U.S. housing market remains brutal. First-time buyers are locked out. Rentals in most markets are expensive, and more families are pursuing multi-generational living, housing a parent, an adult child, or a caregiver without sharing the same front door. The Tranquility solves all of that in one structure. From a policy standpoint, 2026 is the most ADU-friendly regulatory environment in modern American history. Let me give you the specifics. California, the state leading ADU legislation nationally, now has new laws effective January 1st, 2026 that make approvals faster and cheaper than ever. Under SB 543 and related bills, local agencies now have only 15 days to determine whether your application is complete. If they fail to respond, your application is deemed complete by law. That is a massive shift from the years of bureaucratic delay that used to kill these projects. And if an agency then fails to act on a complete application within 60 days, it is considered approved by default. Florida passed legislation requiring all cities to allow ADUs in single-family zones by December 1st, 2026. That mandate is driving a wave of new ADU builds across the Southeast right now. State after state is removing barriers because ADUs are now recognized as a critical part of the affordable housing solution. Your odds of getting a project like this approved in 2026 are significantly higher than they were in 2022 or 2023. And let's talk about what this can do financially. ADUs in major U.S. markets are generating $1,000 to $4,000 per month in rental income, depending on location. In California's premium markets, a well-finished ADU this size can command $2,500 to $3,200 per month. In mid-sized Sun Belt cities, Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, you're looking at $1,200 to $1,800 per month for something this size and quality. That rental income can also now be counted toward your mortgage qualification. Under updated FHA guidelines, lenders can use 75% of the projected rental income from a proposed ADU to help you qualify for the loan. That means a Tranquility ADU on your property isn't just future income. It can help you get the mortgage to build it in the first place. Okay, this is the section people come to YouTube for, and where a lot of YouTube content either goes vague or just gets it wrong. I'm going to give you real 2026 data, and I'm going to be very clear about what is included and what is not. The floor plan cost. The Tranquility stock plan from my Barndo plans is priced at approximately $750 for a quick PDF delivery in 2026. That is the most accessible entry point. If you need architect modifications, adjusting a room size, moving a door, changing a window, modifications start at $150 per change. Full custom design work runs $4,500 to $6,000. For most people, a stock plan with 1 or 2 small modifications puts you under $1,100 total for your plans. The kit options and why they are not the same price. This is where I need to correct something you'll see get confused online. There are 2 steel kit options for the Tranquility, and they are fundamentally different in cost and construction method. The red iron steel kit. This is the traditional heavy gauge structural steel frame. Starts at approximately $26,600. This is your lower cost kit entry point, but it requires more conventional construction experience and a proper crew to erect. The cold form steel kit. This is the precision engineered, light gauge panel system that gets marketed as the stand it up in a day option. Starts at approximately $59,900. Yes, that is more than double the red iron price. The cold form system's premium comes from the precision manufacturing, the complete panel engineering, and the fact that it includes interior wall framing, windows, and exterior doors as a more complete package. You're paying for speed and precision, and it delivers on both. But the kit cost is nearly $60,000 before you pour a slab. Both kit prices cover the structure and shell only. Foundation, utilities, interior finishing, and permits are all separate line items. Full build cost, the honest range. In 2026, building a finished Barndominium runs $65 to $160 per square foot nationally for standard to mid-range finishes. On 885 square feet of livable space. That is a range of roughly $57,000 on the absolute low end. Think rural location, significant DIY labor, basic finishes, up to $142,000 for a fully finished, contractor-built version with quality materials. Premium builds with high-end finishes, polished concrete, custom cabinetry, upgraded HVAC, designer fixtures. Push $150 to $220 per square foot, which takes the Tranquility into the $133,000 to $195,000 range for turnkey delivery in most markets. The most honest all-in number for a solid, livable Tranquility build in most U.S. markets? Plan for $110,000 to $160,000 for a properly finished ADU you would be comfortable renting or housing family in. California builds run higher. $165,000 to $220,000 is realistic there. And the $50,000 finished ADU you'll see claimed in some YouTube thumbnails? In 2026, with current labor and material costs, That number is essentially a myth unless you are doing the majority of the work yourself on rural land you already own with utilities already connected. For most people, it does not exist. Budget honestly. What most people forget to budget. Site preparation adds $1,200 to $8,000 depending on your land. A concrete slab foundation at $6 to $14 per square foot adds $6,000 to $15,000 on this footprint. Building permits run $500 to $2,000. If your property lacks utility connections, bringing in water, power, and sewer can add $10,000 to $75,000 in rural situations. The California Grant. A critical update for 2026. I have to be straight with you on this one, because a lot of content creators are still referencing it as active. The CalHFA ADU grant program, which offered up to $40,000 for qualifying California homeowners, is currently paused as of early 2026. The program exhausted its funding and is not accepting new applications. It is not canceled permanently, but it is not open right now. If you're in California, the move is to watch for a relaunch announcement at calhfa.ca.gov, and in the meantime, check with your city or county housing authority about local municipal equivalent programs. Several California cities have independent ADU incentive programs that are still active. Do not pass on building because you're waiting for that $40,000. It may not reopen on a timeline that works for your project. One of the biggest advantages of the Tranquility design is construction speed compared to a conventional stick-built structure. Here's how a typical build timeline runs. Planning and permits take 1 to 3 months, the single most variable phase. In California, the new 15-day completeness review and 60-day approval window are now law, which represents a dramatic improvement over prior years. In less progressive jurisdictions, confirm your local timeline before you commit to any contractor schedule. Shell construction for a cold-formed steel kit can go up in a matter of days to a couple of weeks once the slab is cured. Every panel is engineered and labeled at the factory. A competent small crew can stand the structure with notable speed. The red iron kit requires more conventional steel erection, but still moves faster than traditional wood framing. Interior work, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, insulation, drywall, flooring, cabinets, fixtures, takes 2 to 4 months depending on crew availability and your finish level. In total, a well-managed Tranquility build from permit approval to move-in typically runs 4 to 7 months for most owner-builders and general contractors. For insulation in a metal building, and this is non-negotiable for comfort and energy efficiency, spray foam is the gold standard. It seals gaps, prevents condensation on the metal panels, and handles vapor control simultaneously. Budget $1.50 to $5 per square foot of surface area. Rigid foam board is a cost-effective alternative for walls and floors. Let's be honest about who this plan is for, and who it is not for. The Tranquility is a strong fit if you already own property and want to add income potential, housing for a family member, or a long-term asset. It is also compelling as a first-time homeowner primary residence. The plan is explicitly designed to feel larger than its footprint and avoid the cramped feel of a traditional tiny home. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, covered porch, open plan. This is a legitimate house, not a glorified cabin. It works well as a long-term rental. For short-term rental use, check your local ADU rules carefully. California prohibits ADU short-term rentals under 30 days. Other states and municipalities have their own restrictions. Do not assume. Who should look at other options? If you need 3 bedrooms, a different plan is required. If your lot has significant setback restrictions, confirm an 885 square foot footprint clears your municipality's requirements before spending money on plans. If you're building in a high snow region, the plan notes that small structural modifications are needed. Factor that into your engineering costs up front. The plan is modifiable. Architect modifications start at $150. If the layout is 90% right, but you want to swap the second bathroom for a laundry closet or expand the master by 2 feet, that is a manageable customization cost to get a plan that actually fits how you live. Let's spend a minute on the actual investment math, because this is what determines whether you build or don't build. ADUs typically increase property value by $100,000 to $300,000 according to current market data, often more than the construction cost in high-value markets. In premium areas, that math is compelling. You spend $130,000 building a finished ADU, and your property appraises $200,000 higher. That's $70,000 in net equity before you collect a single month of rent. Add rental income of $1,200 to $2,500 per month, depending on your market, and a Tranquility ADU can pay for itself in 7 to 10 years while generating positive cash flow throughout. Studies show property value lifts of 10 to 30% on ADU-equipped lots in premium California markets, with $100,000 to $300,000 in resale value gains in areas like LA and the Bay Area. On the financing side, remember that updated FHA guideline. Lenders can now count 75% of projected ADU rental income toward your qualifying income. That is a meaningful advantage if your salary alone would not clear the debt-to-income threshold for your loan. On the tax side, a new ADU will increase your property's assessed value and your property tax bill accordingly. Budget for that honestly. In Florida, if the ADU houses a parent or grandparent over 62, there is a granny flat exemption that can significantly reduce the tax impact. Check your state's equivalent programs. Let's talk about why someone would build the Tranquility as a barndominium rather than a traditional stick-built ADU or a prefab container home. Durability is the first reason. Metal frame construction resists pests, rot, and fire in ways that wood framing simply cannot match. A metal roof, the signature Barndominium feature, carries an effective lifespan of 40 to 70 years versus 20 to 25 years for an asphalt shingle roof. You build once, and you do not rebuild. Construction speed is the second reason. A steel kit system moves faster than stick framing. The red iron option still outpaces conventional wood framing. The cold form system, despite its higher kit cost, compresses the structural timeline dramatically. The aesthetic in 2026 is the third reason, and this matters for rental income. The Barndominium look, metal exterior with warm, modern interior finishes, wood accents, big windows, polished concrete, photographs well, rents well, and appeals broadly across tenant demographics. That is a real financial advantage if your ADU is a rental unit. The open floor plan is the fourth reason. No load-bearing interior walls means future modifications are simpler and less expensive than in a traditional house. The layout evolves with your life instead of fighting it. Before you pull the trigger on this build, here is your honest pre-construction checklist. 1. Verify your zoning. Contact your local planning department and confirm ADU structures are permitted on your specific lot. Ask about size limits, setback requirements, height restrictions, and whether the ADU requires owner occupancy of the primary residence. Do not assume. 2. Confirm utility access. Water, sewer or septic, and electrical connections need to be mapped before your budget is final. On rural land without existing hookups, utilities can be your single largest cost item. 3. Check your HOA documents if applicable. HOA covenants can block ADU construction even when local zoning allows it. Read your CC&RS. Some HOAs require architectural review. Others have blanket prohibitions. Find out before you spend money on plans. 4. Get your slab quote early. Foundation costs vary significantly by region, soil type, and local labor rates. Get at least 2 bids before finalizing your overall budget. 5. Pull comparable rents in your area. Spend an hour on Zillow and Apartments.com looking at what comparable 2-bedroom units rent for within half a mile of your property. That number drives your entire investment math. 6. Research local grant and incentive programs. The CalHFA grant in California is currently paused, but check your city or county housing authority for active local programs. Other states have their own ADU incentive programs at various stages of funding. 7. Talk to a builder with specific ADU experience. Not every general contractor understands the nuances of ADU permitting, setbacks, and utility connections. Relevant experience on similar projects matters. Here is the honest summary of the Tranquility ADU in 2026. It is not a magic solution. It requires real money. $110,000 to $160,000 is the realistic national range for a finished, livable build. It requires permitting time. It requires due diligence on your property's specific rules and your local market's rental dynamics. But for someone who owns land or is buying land, and wants to build something that generates income, adds long-term equity, and gives housing flexibility to their family or their portfolio, this plan is one of the most intelligent small footprint builds available right now. 885 square feet of livable interior, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, open kitchen, covered front porch, steel frame construction, no hallways, built in months, not years, and a floor plan price of $750 to get started. That is the Tranquility, and in 2026, it might be exactly what your property has been waiting for. Pause. Look directly into camera. Drop your questions in the comments. If you're trying to figure out whether this plan works for your specific property or your state's ADU rules, tell me where you're located. I read every comment and will point you in the right direction. If this video gave you something genuinely useful, share it. There is someone in your circle sitting on a piece of land right now with no idea what to do with it. Send them this. Subscribe if you have not. Hit the bell. New build breakdowns every week. I will see you in the next one.